Okay, got it.
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for agreeing to participate in this interview. It is going to be a very short interview. I have a few questions. So let's begin. Can you tell us about your COIL project and your team members?
Thank you, Doctor, for this opportunity for me to explain myself about my project. First of all, my name is Fahmi. My full name is Nasr Fahmi, but I go with the short name, which is Fahmi. So my COIL project that collaborated with Shenandoah University students, the title of the project is Don't Waste, Reuse Instead, Operation Food Rescue. So our main theme of this project is to focus on food waste. So we are collecting data from between two countries, Malaysia and America, for United States of America, to focus on how many food waste have been produced by household or shops and further on. So in my part, which is the team from IIUM, consists of three members. One of them is me, and so another two is from Shenandoah University. They help us a lot in terms of using the language itself, since we are not English speakers. So they were helping us in terms of asking questions, grammars and stuff like that. So yes.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, since the goal was to develop a virtual presentation, how did your team approach this task? If you can elaborate.
So between the Shenandoah University students and us, we decided to edit short videos around like 10 minutes, I suppose. So we distributed each members around like 2 minutes. So my part, let me just explain about my part first, because I focus on the food waste produced by the shops. So from that data that I collected, we created a very interactive video presentation that sort of formally and informally create an awareness, not just focusing on our assignment projects, but also create awareness towards the society, which one of my members from IIUM, his name is Zul Amin. He focused on food waste that produced by restaurants, and that within itself has helped a lot of community areas from his community to very very minimize their food waste. So I think that also help us to create a virtual presentation that not just focusing on studies, also create awareness to help the community surround us. So yes.
Okay, great. I'm sure that there are highlights of the project. Can you perhaps share some highlights of how the team complete the COIL project?
It was the highlight of it because it was fun. There was an opportunity for us to look beyond Malaysia, since at that time it was still in pandemic. So we have the opportunity to do our projects online. Even though it's online, we have that project has helped us, to boost our English speaking skills. That I think that is one of the highlights of doing these projects. One of them, since we are the first year students, I think that experience will help us beyond towards our degree life, which we have another 2 years right now. Also, one of the highlights that I think people need to recognize is that it's not just focusing on the sustainability goals that we are focusing, but we are also help us develop human social skills, and that is very crucial right now, since at that time human interaction are very limited and very sort of like, you know, very, there's a lot of laws will be at that time, at the moment of doing the project. So having the experience help us break out from our room, because since we've been living in our room for like a year at that time, so have the opportunity to go out, talk. And at that time also, the highlights that I think the third highlight that I think I need to emphasize on is that we sort of like understand that food waste is an issue towards our community, and then to help and then to understand is very crucial in order to help them in our later course. So yes, so that one of the three highlights that I think people need to know. Yes.
Good. Thank you for sharing. The next question is what were some of the challenges and how did the team work through to overcome the challenges?
I think early on I talked about how our English speaking skills are not up to par with the American students. So that is one of the challenges, not just for me, also for my other two members from IIUM. I think how did we challenge, how did we go through our challenges is that the American student was very helpful towards our, because what we usually did was we did a draft of questions and then we send it to them, and then they were like, okay, this is wrong, you're not supposed to put here, and then they send it back our grammarly correct questions. But then sadly we speak Malay with the data that we collected, so but we don't actually use the question that they give, but then it helped us on writing. So I think that is very important, because there's going to be a lot of writings through after the projects too. So that is also one of the challenges. And last but not least, like I said, even though it was fun online, but it's still online, right? So I think I hope if there is anything there's anything that if this COIL project is going to happen again, I hope that we could, you know, sort of met somewhere between, you know, IIUM or Shenandoah University to further have that human interaction that I think I like to focus on. So yes.
Okay, good. I think the pandemic situation has improved. Hopefully your aspiration will come through. Okay, my last question. What is your advice to students who have not heard about COIL or who have heard but at the moment show no interest in COIL?
To the student out there, to the student out there, I think COIL really gives you an experience of the lifetime. I think it's not, the opportunity is not always there. So if you got the chance or you are enrolled with Dr. Hamzah's class, so I think you guys should, you know, have very optimistic behavior towards this project. So I think that how me and my members go through this COIL project, even though it was shocking for us, but Alhamdulillah, we made it through, and it was very fun experience for us. So students, you need to join. It's very good.
Okay, thank you, Fahmi, for your interview in this session. We hope that your last point will be taken positively by students who have not heard about COIL or who have a negative view about COIL. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Vicky Spencer from Shenandoah University, and one of our students who participated in our COIL project has agreed to be interviewed. So thank you for joining us today, Hannah, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Fantastic. My name is Hannah Badley. Like Vicky said, I was a participant in the COIL project spring 2020, is that right? Or was it 2021? Yeah, 2020. I really enjoyed participating in the project. It was lovely. And I really feel like I learned a lot, not only about just group dynamics and working in between different cultures, but also about our topic.
Good, good. Thank you so much. So we'll start with, can you tell us about your COIL project and then a little bit about your team?
Yeah, so our COIL project, we based it around the concept of food waste within the context of COVID-19. So during the pandemic, you know, we all know there were a lot of restaurants that weren't operating. There were a lot of just ways that the world was turned upside down, and one of the fallouts from that was food waste that was occurring globally. So our team decided to focus on that, and we looked specifically at the United States and Malaysia. Our team had 5 members. We had Zula Min, and then Fahmi and Liana from Malaysia, and then we had me, Hannah, and Kelly. So it was really fascinating to work. Our Malaysian counterparts were freshmen in their degree, and so, you know, we had a couple different, a couple years in between mine and Kelly's age, and then the students, and then we also had some language barriers, some different ways of expressing ourselves culturally, and then just, you know, the time difference. So, and I know we're going to talk about the challenges a little bit later, so I won't go into detail right now, but those were the members of our group. It was wonderful to get to know them a little better. And I'm excited to be able to speak for them and tell you about this project.
Thank you. So the goal was to develop, as you work together, a visual or virtual presentation. So as a group, how did y'all approach this task?
Yeah, so as a group, we all met. I believe we did Zoom, a video conferencing platform, and we all kind of took a few minutes to get to know each other. And then we created a division of work that was suited towards our skills. So the Malaysian team did a lot of research on food waste that was going on in Malaysia. Kelly and I did some research on food waste that was going on in the United States. And then I took some of the video editing process. So that was kind of just what fit my skill. I, you know, did the beginning and the end, and then the other team members really contributed in terms of creating a script and then following it. So that's how we went about developing this virtual project. And I think we met maybe 3 or 4 times. It was over the course of the semester. So we just kind of found the dates that were most convenient for everyone. We also chatted on an app, like I forget the name of it, but it was one that it worked on Wi-Fi. It wasn't like texting. It was.
Was it WhatsApp? Or was
yes, it was WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Yes, yeah. And so that allowed us to stay in contact and to be like, hey, we're still meeting tonight, right? Or this morning, and just to make sure everyone was on track.
Good, good. Okay, thank you. So looking back over this project, what would you consider as some of the highlights?
You know, it was funny when I went back to go like review my notes and look at the video and think about that time. I believe that this video was occurring at the same time we were taking our research methods class. Mm-hmm. And so it was really, really cool to be able to generalize some of that knowledge that I was learning about research into learning about food waste, right? So I was able to use university libraries. I was able to take some of those assignments that we were doing in our research methods class and really expand upon the skills I had needed to learn in order to do those assignments, to create some of this content and to understand. And there's a train, I'm sorry, it's probably just going to be going. But to be able to expand on some of that knowledge. So that was one of the highlights. I also really enjoyed getting to know a different culture. I've been able to travel a little bit, but not extensively. And, due to COVID, not at all for a couple of years. So it was really, really wonderful to be able to see people in their homes. Everyone gets a little bit curious about like different backgrounds. But I remember we had this one time when one of the instructors there was loud sounds going off outside of his window. And we were like, what is that? What's going on? And it was fireworks. And we were like, what? Fireworks in the middle of March? Like, we don't understand. And it was a really great cross-cultural moment because he was able to explain to us that, there's a festival going on and this is going to go on for several days. And so it was just really interesting.
Good. Okay. So challenges, what types of challenges were you faced with?
Yeah, so we had probably the two biggest challenges were the time difference and then some of the language barriers. We were very fortunate to be able to be like the chosen language for the project, or English was the way it was being presented. So I didn't have to learn a new language. But our counterparts did a really excellent job of navigating that challenge, and it was really just super admirable to see them kind of step up to that. The time difference is also a little strange as well. It's 13 out. They're 13 hours ahead of us, so I think evening our time tended to work well for them, just in terms of like the best times to meet. It was also kind of difficult to navigate. I mean, we were master's students and they were freshmen. And so the level, like making sure that people's assignments fit their skill level was really important too, as far as like division of labor goes. But we all just communicating, making sure that everyone was on the same page. We had like a working like document, and then we would all put our information in that, and we would be able to go back and like edit and check each other's work, and that was a really good way of kind of error correcting as we went.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So as Dr. Hamzah and I both move forward with other ways to implement the COIL project, what would be your advice to students who are thinking about it, or who are thinking, well, they're resistant, thinking maybe this is something I don't want to do? What would your advice be to them?
I mean, people always have a reason why they're resistant or why they feel anxious. Maybe they have a big course load. Maybe it has something to do with some sense of insecurity they have about their own academic skills. I do think recognizing that being a little resistant is part of the process, like anything new, anything that's big, participating in a way that's different can feel challenging. But I do think that recognizing this as an opportunity to not only become more globally minded, but also be able to practice global communication skills and cross-cultural communication. I mean, as our world continues to expand, this is just going to be so much more a part of our lives. And so I think getting to practice it while you're in school and getting, like I said previously, the opportunity to generalize some of that knowledge that you're learning in your other classes, I think it can be really, really helpful. I don't know. I also really enjoyed, Dr. Spencer, how you were able to take the content and really make it a part of ABA. I know that that's sometimes, food waste or COIL and then ABA, like how do these mesh? But I feel like if you have an instructor who's really able to show the value in the teamwork components and the generalization of knowledge and the communication skills and, the cross-cultural learning, like those are skills that you can use in any context and succeed. So I would say to any students who are thinking of joining the program but maybe feeling a little bit of resistance, I would say, lean into that resistance, maybe explore a little bit where that's coming from. And if it's coming from a place of, I don't know, well, you don't know until you know, you might as well try it. It's a fantastic way to understand communication and to, brush up on your research skills.
Good. Okay. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your time today. And thank you for participating in COIL.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Spencer, for the opportunity to chat a little bit about it. You have a good rest of your day.